What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. So as you can see, back in the rattlesnake room once again this week. If you guys checked out my video from a couple of weeks ago, you saw a bunch of my rattlesnakes that have already shed out post-brumation. Well, a bunch more have shed out and I couldn't help but make another video. So here we are today, checking out some more of my venomous collection, primarily rattlesnakes, and seeing how they're doing after their post-brumation sheds. Starting the video where I kind of started the previous one, here with my Honduran palm vipers, or Bothriechis marchi. They have both shed since that previous video. I showed them as an example of ones that had not shed out yet, just how kind of deep that shed cycle was. You can see the male sitting on top of the female. She's underneath him, and their coloration is just so vibrant right now. His blue is really popping, as well as her green is. And as you can see, just sprayed them down. This room in here is obviously primarily set up for rattlesnakes, and they're mostly arid species that kind of don't do very well when they get overly humid. So with these palm vipers, I do spray them essentially daily during this time of year. During brumation, a little bit less frequently, but I still do spray them during brumation to increase their humidity levels, help with their hydration, shedding, etc. So kind of a little bit of a different approach I need to take with husbandry in here when it comes to these guys relative to the rattlesnakes, which during the spring and summer I'll spray them occasionally, but not nearly as much as I spray these palm vipers. Look at that head structure right there, just such an impressive animal. Now we're taking a look at one of the Chihuahua ridge-nosed rattlesnakes, or Crotalus willeti silas. And as you can see, she is looking for food right now. Her male is now poking his head out too. He has not shed yet, but as you can see from that shed skin right there, she did just a couple of days ago, and she is looking brilliantly colored. She is beautiful, and she is looking quite large as well. A very large example of this species. Ridge-nosed rattlesnakes, like a lot of these montane rattlesnakes, do not get very big as adults, where some of them will stay significantly smaller than even this female right here when they're full grown. And she has that amazing orange coloration. So does the male. He actually has a very deep orange when he is not in shed, even when he is in shed, but particularly when he has shed his skin. But with that said, a lot of these Chihuahua ridge nose are kind of more gray to yellow a little bit. So to get these guys that have this really nice, brilliant orange coloration is super cool. So now here is another pair that was in the previous video, but as you can tell, the female has shed her skin right there. The male has not yet, and this is really a pretty fantastic example right here of just exactly what the difference is. I mean, she was even kind of dustier, dingier than him right now before her shed, and after that shed, that contrast really starting to pop, that pretty stark base coloration in contrast with the dark bands. Just a beautiful, beautiful look on these Franklin Mountain banded rock rattlesnakes. Hopefully this male will shed here soon. He looks pretty deep in blue right now, so maybe within the next week he will shed his skin. Yeah, a good example of that post-shed look, and always love showing these guys off. One of the more recognizable and iconic localities of banded rock rattlesnakes are the Franklin Mountain animals. All right, now taking a look at another ridge-nosed rattlesnake. This is another Chihuahua ridge-nosed rattlesnake, Crotalus willeti silas. And this is the female that dropped a litter for me last year. She got the year off, did not breed her again, give her a little rest, prepare her for her next go around. But she has a little bit more of a kind of gray coloration, how I was explaining with the other female that she's very orange. This girl is much more on the gray side. She actually has a very kind of obscurity look to her, the New Mexico ridge nose, which is kind of cool. Of course, the range of Silas and Obscurus really has no border except for the border of the United States, where essentially Obscurus are the most northern form of Silas, for lack of a better way to describe it. So the fact that some of them can have a very similar appearance definitely is reasonable, and she most certainly does have that appearance. Really cool to have variety within this species in the collection, to have those nice orange individuals and to have this girl with a completely different color palette. All right, here this guy is again. I've definitely shown him off here on the channel a few times, and he is without a doubt my favorite venomous snake in my collection. He was also the first venomous snake that I ever acquired back in 2021 when I first started getting into keeping them. He is a Del Nido ridge-nosed rattlesnake, or Crotalus willardi amabilis. So one of the other species from Mexico, and one of the main differences between these and the Silas is in that eye striping, where the amabilis, along with the willardi and the meridionalis, will have that top stripe as well, where the Silas and the obscurus do not have that top striping. So he is just an absolute stunner. The amabilis are known for that red coloration, which if I'm being totally honest, is really not coming through on the video. He looks a lot more orange on the video than he does in person. In person, he is very, very red, and definitely not a common species in the hobby. So the fact that I was able to even get my hands on one in the first place was a dream come true. Ironically enough, that also was my first venomous snake. So definitely started at the top with this guy right here, and he is just my absolute favorite. I mean, man, look at that tail. You can really see the red on the tail in the video, kind of as opposed to the rest of the body, which is not quite so obvious in the video. But yeah, man, he is just spectacular. To me, the coolest venomous reptile species in the entire world. All right, here is one of my Guadalupe mountain banded rock rattlesnakes. And these guys are from New Mexico. And this is definitely one of the localities that is known for the kind of best thick bands with kind of modeling between the pattern. She is a beautiful, beautiful snake. Also very good coloration as well on them. Some of that kind of pink sides, a little bit of that green coming through on the top. Just a gorgeous locality. She's very hungry. These guys are all eating here in a couple of days, so she's hoping I'm bringing her some food. She'll be a little disappointed right now, but in a couple of days, she'll be a happy little calabari. All right, I showed the male of this pair in my video the other week. This is my female, Armstrong's rattlesnake, Mexican dusky rattlesnake, Crotalus armstrongi. So these guys definitely have that cool kind of heightened coloration, higher yellow look to them. The male's a good bit brighter than the female is, but nonetheless, she is still very beautiful. And kind of like I've been saying, cool to have a variety within a pair where the two don't look the exact same, but got these guys back in the beginning of 2023 as about yearlings, year and a half old snakes, and I've been raising them up ever since. This is the first year where I'll be able to attempt breeding with them, which I am super excited about. Pretty much from the day I got these snakes in, they've been amongst my favorite of my rattlesnakes. So to have the opportunity to breed them is definitely a dream come true. All right, now peeking in here, taking a look at this trio of blacktail rattlesnakes. These guys are from the Guadalupe Mountains of New Mexico, and they are an absolutely gorgeous locality type of this species. And as you can see, very curious as well. In my entire kind of time of keeping reptiles, I would say that blacktail rattlesnakes are probably the most curious snake species I've ever encountered. And while there is definitely some amount of feeding response going on here, I think there's also just a good amount of just straight up curiosity, where they're just very much kind of curious what I have going on, seeing what's going on out here. The enclosure is open, so they're just kind of taking a look. But as you can see, when you look as far as the coloration goes, this female here on the right has had her post-brumation shed. The male here on the left has not. You can see he's much darker. Her color is a lot more crisp, a lot higher contrast, where he still kind of has a dingy look to him. He is very golden once he has shed out. So I'm really excited to have that happen, see him after his shed. But yeah, blacktail rattlesnakes are so much fun to keep if you are a venomous aficionado. Very chill, generally speaking. Strong feeding responses, but just very much a curious species. Always kind of checking you out. Something always seems like it's going on in their eyes. Just an intelligent snake that is super rewarding. All right, everybody, thank you for checking out that video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Please like and share. I drop a new video every single Friday here on the channel. And if you want to support everything that I have going on here on the YouTube channel or on my podcast as well, please visit patreon.com/CushReptile. It is the absolute best way to support everything that I have going on. All members of all tiers immediately get 50% of their membership fee as a credit towards any future animal that they want to acquire from me, and that credit never expires. Also, as a member of the Patreon, you get first access to any animals that I make available anywhere before the public does, in the order of the tiers. So if there's a project that I have that you've been eyeing for a long time, the best way to ensure you have access to it is by going over to the Patreon. Like I just stated, I also have a podcast as well. It is called Cush's Corner and is on the Trap Talk Reptile Network, live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It is also available as a playback on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, all of the major podcast platforms if you're an audio fan like myself. I'm also on Morph Market at Cush Reptile as well. That's where you can find my availability at any given time. I'm also on Instagram at Scrub Shepherd, Stephen Cush on Facebook, and please also check out the Somalia group on Facebook. That is my group that I run, all about Somalia, scrub pythons and Boelen's pythons. So for any Somalia fans, that is the place to go. We've developed a really amazing community over there, and it is always growing. All of the links to everything that I just said are in the description below, so please check it all out. Once again, thank you guys for checking out the video, and I'll catch you all back here next week for a new one.